In this video, we are going to do the API integration for our app. Till now, we have created some screens in the application. So for that, we have used different components. Now it's time to do the API integration. To do the networking or API integration, so we have two options. Either we can go with Fetch API, that is by default the web API available in JavaScript runtime environment. And another option is we can use a third-party library Axios. So first we'll try with the fetch API. Now to start with the API integration, we need first the API. We are going to create a dummy API here. So we already have the project data and we'll use this data to create the API. Let's go to this site dummy.json and here we'll create the dummy API. Okay, so this is our data that we have pasted it here. Now we need to click on the generate now button. So this is the endpoint that it has provided us. Okay, now we'll call this endpoint. So basically let's create a folder inside source directory. We'll give it the name API and here let's have a file fetch projects.js. Here we'll do export constant. So here we are going to add the method for fetching the product details. So for that we need fetch projects and this will be async operation. So here we'll call fetch URL. Let's add a wait here and here we do constant data equal to response dot body. We can just give it response.json and here we'll do return data. So this is our method for fetching the product details. Now let's go back to the component where we are calling to get the project details. So here let's add a use effect. Now here we need to call fetch projects. So once we get now fetch projects return the promise and at here we'll do response. So let's just first check if we are getting the correct response. So yeah, we are getting this response from the API. And let's have a state here, constant projects set projects. Use state empty array. And here this is basically handle the error. Okay, now we don't need to use these projects anymore. This is something we are getting it the static data and just let's change edit here project response. Project response. Okay, I think what we did mistake here, this API. So we just need to go it back because we have added here the JSON array, and let's change this to object. Let's change the URL. So yeah, here we go. We are now getting the response from the API. Let's remove this from here and restart the application. Okay, yeah, we are getting the project list from the API, and when we select it, we are getting the task here. Now this was the get API. From here we are just getting the project list. So to create the uh, task, or to post it the task, here we can pass the options like body. In body we can send it the data for the API. So this is how we can integrate the API with in a React Native app. Also we can add some more methods like to create the task and putting the that data into the server. So here basically we'll create, let's first add a few states. Start date, set start date equal to use date, new date. By default it will display the today's date. Okay, so now here uh, basically we'll add touchable opacity, and here we'll add text. In this text will this basically display uh, start date, otherwise select date, and let's put here style dot input, and here we'll basically put start date to date string. Okay, so this is the date which it has currently displaying. Okay, and now on below at here we'll basically call uh, date picker, and let's add date, start date, on confirm, handle on confirm. Also we need start time and end time. So basically here we'll put constant the date picker mode. So let's add here picker mode, set picker mode, use date. Date by default it will be a date. Let's set here picker mode. In this we set date, date time, and time. Let's set it the picker mode, picker mode, or date. Here we'll check if picker mode equal to date, set start date, This will basically give a date. Handle confirm, and let's put here on close or on cancel. Cancel. Use callback. Hmm. And we'll call basically this. Here we'll set is visible. Set. Let's set picker visible. Set picker visible. Use state false, and here we'll check if picker visible. Set picker visible. Okay, and in the touchable opacity here on press, we'll call let's add a function here. Display picker. Use callback. Set picker mode. And set picker visible true. Let's pass here on press. Display picker date. So like here we'll display the picker, and so let's say if we have selected the date. Okay, so here when we'll confirm it, here we'll go to, and then we'll set picker visible false. Now here when we selected the date, we'll do confirm. Again we can able to select it. So this is how we can select it the date. Date text, font size 16, styles dot date text. Okay, now next we'll add here to select the start and end date and time. Okay, now here we'll add one view. So for this view, let's add style, flex, direction, row, and basically we just put this 2 of here start time and end time. Now let's add here the state constant start time, set start time, use date, and constant end time, set end time, use date, and let's use this. We basically use at here start time and time. So here's start time and end time. Okay, now in the display picker, so here we are setting it the mode. So now at here we'll check else if picker mode equal to start. So here we'll set start time, date to to time string. So let's see first what we are getting here. Start time and also here we'll just do if picker mode is equal to date, then pass the date, otherwise time. So like here we can select the time, so we are getting the complete date. Okay, now here we'll do set start time and here we'll set hours. Minute, 20. uh, so here we'll just do simply set start time date, and let's do it here call moment start time, and then format. Okay, this is how we can format it, the selected start time. So let's do it here. Here start date and end. Also here let's do else if speaker mode is equal to end, we'll do set end time date. Okay, so this is the select start date and start and end time. Now the next will be have here description and category, and then there will be a create task button. So let's add here just a button view style bottom 0, and here we'll call the button the component that we created label create task. Position absolute. Okay, and now here we have this button. We'll set it width 100%. So let's pass this style at here. Width we'll set it 100%. Padding of 20. Let's put 10 would be fine. Yep. So this is the create task button. If you want, we can increase height also. Let's use this here. Description. Enter task description. Here we'll basically put height of 80. Let's put multi-line. Number of lines 4. Okay. So this is for the description. Okay, so this is for the description. Okay, and also we can put it this mm, view is a scroll view. Okay, this is scroll view. Now here we'll put it some categories. So for the category, we need to use a chips here, but we can select only one category at a time. So here we have a categories uh, component already, so we can reuse it, but we need to pass it here the data. Let's put this data outside the and here in the data folder. Just okay, and we'll basically pass this in the home screen. We see this is our chip component. Okay, now we have to use this categories component, but let's use the now let's put it here categories dot js. Okay, now we'll add the categories component. Let's call categories, and then we'll pass the data in the props. We had added categories array in the categories.js file. Let's open that here in the datas in the data folder, and we have here categories, category list. Okay, these are the categories. Let's put it in the scroll view. So this is our categories list. Now if we say we can select it multiple categories, but when we are creating a task, we want to allow only one category at a time to be selected. So for that, we need to make few changes in the category component. And here let's add a prop is multiple. By default, this will be false. And at here, we'll check the condition is multiple. Then we'll do set selected category as ID and return. Now when we will pass the is multiple as true, let's try in this component is multiple as true. So when we selected the design and when I go to meeting, then design will be unselected and we have selected now meeting. Likewise here we cannot select multiple. Now if we go back, here also this applies. So because on the home screen we are just passing as category and this is by default is false.